Welcome back. It's actually been a few weeks since I recorded anything. I know it doesn't seem like that, given the fact that I still have some regular footage going out. I'm actually now on the mainland, and I'm in an area called Torridon. Now this is an area that I wanted to visit for quite a while. I was here last week on a bit of a scouting mission, and actually this morning I left Nicola off at Inverness train station, and I'm now going to be in this area for the next couple of weeks. Me, the van, the cat and a camera. Maybe the odd beer or two too. So the next probably couple of vlogs will come from this area, and there'll be a little bit of a theme I'm sure going through. Woodland. Because as well as the mountains in this area, this place is really known for its woodland and its Scotch pine. So I'm just in a little such woodland now, which is on the shores of Loch Marie. And we're going to go for a little wander around. The light actually isn't too bad at all. Some sun coming through, bit of moodiness. So we'll go and see what we can find. I'm looking forward to exploring Torridon a lot more over the next couple of weeks. Hope you are too. Let's go. So I think I've said this a couple of times before. Every time I'm out with a camera, I'm always thinking of it as an exercise. Not only an exercise physically, but an exercise mentally as well. You know, I think too often do we get hung up on an epic image and therefore don't get the camera out to play. And of course, where's the practice and learning in that? So, and this is where something like the iPhone or a little point and shoot camera can sometimes come into its own, because you can kind of just stop at scenes and have a little bit of a play about. So, scene here in front of me. Now the dynamic range is probably going to be a little bit too much for the GoPro here, but what sort of drew my eye was obviously the mountain in the background, which has got some lovely soft light on it, but actually these kind of ferns as well, which potentially were mimicking the same colour of light. Now there's a lot going on in the front of the scene, so if I really wanted to work on this, I would try to find a couple of ferns that really worked with the flow of the image, and I might do that, but I'll probably do that just with the iPhone for now. Of course, you've not only got the lovely autumnal ferns and the light, but you've got all of these gorgeous Scotch pine as well. There is just something about those. I mean, even just in the bark, I was walking across through another forest earlier on, and yeah, it's just really nice. So I'm starting to climb now out of the thickest part of the forest, and this is kind of what I wanted to do, see whether I could get any light. And just had a little bit of fun here with this pine, just a little sort of abstracty shot, focused on the mountain. Just love the light on the mountain, and then just obviously the silhouette of the tree. Now without doing two exposures and blending them, sure the tree's going to be soft, but then again it'll be nice and dark silhouetted. Just really a nod to the two main themes running through this location, the mountains and the pine. So this was a scene that I really wanted to come back and shoot with the main camera. I made a little sketch with the iPhone. I'll throw that up now. Just this really big old dead gnarly tree. And of course, as a photographer, you know, textures and those patterns just really draw your eye to it. And what I quite liked about this area as well was there's a natural gap in the woodland that kind of leads you through to the across Loch Marie and onto the hillside. I've actually put the wide angle on, which is unusual in woodland because normally I'm shooting on a telephoto, trying to sort of pick out little pockets of the landscape, and I'm sure once I finish here I'll go back to that. But of course what I really want to do is emphasize the tree. Yes, I'm looking for some light across the way as well, but I'm really trying to emphasize that tree, and to do that, you try not to fall over. To do that, getting in close at a wide angle. Now of course that in itself represents a couple of problems. Well, not problems, just a couple of challenges. First and foremost, of course, depth of field. Now, do I want those? Am I hugely concerned about having the far mountains sharp, pin sharp? Of course not. But actually what I really want to make sure is everything here in the foreground and even in the midground is as sharp as possible. And so what I'm doing is obviously taking a couple of images, various focus points, and then I'll blend those in post. The other challenge that I have is trying to kind of maintain some separation. Where I'm standing at the moment and looking across, there's this pine that's kind of blocking, obscuring a lot of the mountain, so I've kind of had to come down, which of course gives me the benefit of getting closer to the stump as well. So I'm trying to kind of create a natural clearance and path through to the mountain. And then of course, to really make that mountain shine through, I really need light on it. Now, right at this moment, there's not, so just going to fine tune this composition and go from there. Not a huge amount of light on the foreground here. The sun is behind me, so fingers crossed maybe some of that cloud will move through, because it would be nice to bring out some of the textures in this wood, to have some light illuminating just here in the foreground. So, but this is probably the scene that really drew me back here. Yes, there's lots of other, things to shoot here, but as soon as I had seen this on my last recce trip, I was like, need to come back here. It's a gorgeous tree. So now we're just going to wait and see whether the light plays ball. The lights got worse. I think this may be one I'm going to have to come back to. The light behind you here is lovely, but huge big thick barrel of cloud here. I've been here now for a good half an hour. This may be one to come back to on another day. As I say, I'm going to be in the area for the next couple of weeks, so always a chance. What to do? So sadly the light just wasn't playing ball, and given that I know the area reasonably well, even if the light had have magically popped out, by the time it would have popped out, it would have been in behind the mountain, so it wouldn't have really worked. So I wandered back down again, and the nice thing about the 2 times I've come here before in a recce, I've done the kind of circular walk. Because I cut it short this time, I walked back on myself, and of course that helped, almost see the place through some fresh eyes. So hopefully over the next couple of weeks I'll be able to get something from this area in better light, but we live to fight another day.